Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. As you can see, I have a wonderful guest with me today, a returning guest. It's Natalia. Welcome back, Natalia. How are you?
Hey, Peter. Hello. I am really well. Happy to be here and look forward to the series. Yeah. Thank you, Peter.
Amazing. And yes, indeed, we are going to record a short series for you together, all with the upcoming Agent 365 release on the 1st of May in mind. And we want to give you a little bit of an introduction to agents and what they are all about in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center and how they tie in with Copilot. Do you want to set the scene a little bit more for what we can expect, please, Natalia?
Yeah, sure. So we know 1st of May is around the corner, and what we really want to do is, hey, let's demystify agents a little bit and really take it to that level of how does an employee work with an agent? How do they create one? And then from the IT perspective, what visibility do I have in the admin center in terms of controlling and governing that? So really just want to create an introduction to agents so that when 1st of May comes around and we're going to get a lot of updates, a lot of new things, we're just feeling a little more comfortable and more familiar with agents.
Amazing. That makes complete sense. Well, without any further ado, let's get into it. I know you've got some great demo content to share with us, so let's get stuck in.
I'm in my M365 Copilot. If you're familiar with this personal AI assistant, this is where I can work with my files. I can summarize my meetings. I can search for any documents across my organization. And if people are quite comfortable with this, then that's something you've mastered already experimenting with. When it comes to agents, they are a little different. The way I want people to think of agents is, yes, I've got my personal assistant where I can summarize meetings, but if I really want to do a specific task and I want the AI that I'm working with to be really good at it, I most likely will need an agent. And on the left-hand side, you will notice you will tend to have researcher and analyst, and these are really good starter agents. These come out of the box. They are created for you by Microsoft. And what will happen here, for example, when I navigate to the analyst agent, as I said, agents are really good at specific tasks. So here we're looking at data crunching, visualization creation, overall data analysis. So what I'm going to do here with the analyst agent, instead of giving this to typical M365 Copilot AI assistant, what I will do is I will use this agent. And let's just look at this prompt. Something that I'm interested in is finding out if the customers that have higher NPS scores tend to have lower number of tickets open. That's my question, but I need to back it up with data. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give this to the analyst agent. I'm going to ask this question. I've attached an Excel document with about 10,000 rows of data for many of my customers where we have their tickets, we have their NPS scores, and I want to come to a decision as to, hey, do they actually produce lower number of tickets? And is that something we need to resolve? What will happen here, as I said, agents are really good at specific tasks. And this agent is utilizing Python in terms of breaking down this Excel document and using Python to create visualizations and, more importantly, analyze what's actually going on. So things look a little scary at first, but with agents, it's about delegating to them because they are really good at this specific area of expertise. Whilst this is doing, Peter, have you had a chance to experiment with the analyst and researcher agents yet?
Not the analyst, but I have used the researcher one, and I find it very effective indeed. The difference between putting something through the researcher and the normal Copilot is really cool. So I've really enjoyed using that one. So I'm keen to now try the analyst one as well.
Yeah, absolutely. What were you using the researcher agent for, if you recall?
Oh, what was I using it for? It was something in my day-to-day job with Microsoft that I wanted to research as a, do you know what? Copilot is very good sometimes not at hallucinating, like all AI, unless you're very specific with it and double check and triple check. And I think I wanted to put it into the researcher so it would just be a more conclusive what I was getting back from it. Because if I'm right in my thinking, and you can tell me if I'm right or not here, it's that's what the researcher is going to be better at than just your vanilla Copilot. Is that fair to say?
What Researcher is excellent at is just grabbing multiple sources online and giving, not a one-page reader or two-page reader. It will get you a very detailed analysis, something that you can read through and really make an informed decision. What I've seen clients use it for is, for example, competitor analysis as to how are our competitors approaching digital strategy. That's really good if you've got multiple reports, 80 pages each, and you also need to pull information from online. That's what Researcher is excellent at. So I can see our agent has created the response. First of all, we get the short answer at the beginning, and it is actually no. In this data set, customers with high NPS score don't tend to have lower number of open tickets. And overall, what we're getting below is quite detailed analysis. So for our data analysts, we're getting correlation coefficients being calculated. And then we're also going to get the scatter plot. So as I said, this is that data crunching agent that can produce quality visualizations for us. This is one of those. And then we also get interpretation. I want everybody to try these two. They are out of the box, should be here on the left side. If you've started playing with these and you want more, let's explore our agent inventory. So what I'm doing is I'm jumping into all agents, and things are going to look a little differently here. We've got agents built by Microsoft. So you will recognize analyst and researcher. And then we've got a few more. But the one that I'm after is prompt coach. Maybe that's something that I can explore as to how come it's not here. And then here's a few interesting ones. You can also have agents that have been built by third parties. So let's jump into Mural, for example.
Okay.
And when it comes to the third-party agents, you as the administrator have the control to block some of these for me. So for example, Mural or Dropbox, that's something that I can access. Let's just see. So the Mural wasn't allowed. Let's try Dropbox. Let's navigate. And let's begin testing this. So some things that I could ask is, what files do I have? So here's an interesting one. From your perspective, what I did, I actually connected this to my own personal Dropbox account.
Okay.
And when you look at it from the perspective of security, where I'm now pulling files from my Dropbox, is that something that sits quite comfortable in the world of, hey, we want our employees to be able to do that? Or are there any restrictions you'd want to place on this?
Oh, I did that. That would be a very uncomfortable thing for a security-minded person. Indeed, I'd be wanting to have control over this. This is getting into the realms of shadow IT and shadow AI, so not something I would be comfortable with.
Yeah. So here I'm in my sources. I've jumped into the Dropbox, and I've added this agent earlier and allowed it to sign in with my own personal credential. So should we actually bridge the gap here and jump into the admin center to see what controls we've got to maybe remove this agent for me? Yeah.
That sounds like a good idea. Let's do it.
Excellent. So we are in our admin center, and something new that's going on here, if you're part of the Frontier program of the Agents 365, when I navigate to agents, I get an overview. And it's a different view. So far, we've been looking at it from the employee perspective. Let's actually look at it from the perspective of security. We have our agent registry. We have our active users. And things are going to get a little bit interesting here in terms of controls that are available. So we can see the agents that don't have any owners. Perhaps an individual left an organization after creating agents, so that agent hasn't got any owners. And then below, we can also see the agents that have been created in our organization versus the agents that have been created by external parties. So that Dropbox or Mural agents are one of those. And then on the right side, we're starting to see the number of active users. We see a spike over here, and then the active agent like Dropbox and Mural and the analyst. Should we jump and explore the registry and see what controls we have in order to put a little bit of governance on that access to the third-party agent?
Yeah, let's take a look at the registry. Sounds like a great next step.
Great. So here we've got agents listed by different publishers. And something that I want to jump into straight away is, let's look at external partners. And let's find that agent that we've used in order to sign in with our personal credentials, Dropbox. And with each agent, when I click into it, what I can explore is just overall overview. So the channels where it can get published. What's important is users. So right now, all users in the organizations can install. And we're also starting to get permissions, and that's quite interesting and quite good to explore. So right now we've got delegated permissions, and we can have access to the data. It's already been given permissions to access on my behalf in terms of what's in OneDrive for Business. And then we've got data and tools, and then overall security and certifications. So something that I will want to do is explore and jump into these specifically in more detail in the next few videos. But overall, in terms of the users, what we should do for now is just, let's just say no users in the organization can install it. So I think at this point, what would be quite interesting to explore in our next video is, okay, we've looked at the agents that are in our agent registry created by Microsoft or third-party agents. We've looked at how we can govern these, well, begin to govern them in terms of blocking that access and blocking the permissions of what users can install them. Should we look into what if I create my own agent and what that will be like?
That sounds like a very logical next step for the next video, Natalia. Fantastic. So let's wind things up there. I think that was a really great introduction to agents. Really enjoyed that. We will see you in the next video. In the meantime, thank you for joining us. Please give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it and found it helpful. And do remember to hit subscribe as well. And we will see you very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.